Are you ready?
My coach, Barbara H. Smith. Why did I hire her? Because she's the best.
Barbara H. Smith is a powerhouse. She just walks in the room and grabs your attention, and she does that in a way that just makes you feel loved and like she's paying attention to you. She cares about you, and she wants to see you be your best self.
She was able to dig inside and find the passion that was deep within me.
Barbara's energy is one of the reasons that I had to have her as my coach. I love the way she is real with people.
The reason I felt like I needed a coach was because I have some big goals and I needed to build my confidence. I knew that Barbara could help me do that.
I felt that I could trust her.
I would definitely recommend to get coaching from Barbara H. Smith if you feel like you need to level up your confidence. She would just help you feel like bold, like you can take on the world.
She has really shown me who I am. She has changed my mindset to a place that I know that I am more powerful today than I would have ever been if I had never met Barbara Smith.
Here we go. Money, 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 money. Yes, wearing my money green today. I feel super excited. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to the Empowering You show, where we showcase business owners, entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and people who are doing phenomenal things in the community. So today's no different. But before I introduce you to our fabulous guest, let me introduce you to my sidekick, right hand, left arm, right foot, sassy, sexy, spicy Shani Smith.
Well, hello. Again, another fantastic intro. Love it. I almost started to do the Cupid shuffle. I thought I was on right foot, left. No, that's not it.
That's like the Macarena, okay? So glad you're here, Shani. It's always a pleasure to have you on the same platform. And I am so excited. I can't even begin again to thank you enough for all you do. Your encouragement, you are totally BHS and Associates focused and mindful of all the things that we do. And there's never any bickering or animosity. I love having you as one of our team members.
Oh, thank you. It's my pleasure, really. There's so much that I'm learning. And, I know I've surprised you several times about how much I actually didn't know. So how much I've learned is really just invaluable. And it's an honor to be a part of the organization. I really can't even believe that I feel like just yesterday I said, okay, we're going to start the second quarter strong. And Here we are halfway through April. What happened? Where did the time go?
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I'm excited for what's to come. I can't wait for all the things that are happening for 2023. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. Mm-hmm. But I just have a different zeal. So I thank you.
I tell you, it's an amazing journey. And I also want to give tribute. Tomorrow is the heavenly birthday of my father, who would have been 89, 90. He would have been 90. Wow. Tomorrow. And my granddaughter, who is Neve Compage, is going to be having a birthday tomorrow. They shared a birthday together. So I'm super excited for the birthdays. Super, duper, uber excited for our guest. Lord have mercy. We got so much stuff going on. We're going to talk about that later, but we want to get our guest up now. For more than a decade, she has conducted soft skills training for corporations, public agencies, and management training for nonprofits. She's truly committed to empowering, engaging, and enabling employees to experience their full potential. A woman after my own heart in that regard. She does webinars, retreats, workshops, coaching, and facilitation. And she was also an adjunct professor in marketing, of all things, with the University of Phoenix. Someone I've come to know and someone I've come to love, the beautiful Lisa Bishop.
Hello. Good
Hello,
morning.
lovely.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Absolutely great and grateful. You're calling in all the way from the West Coast, are you not?
I am indeed. The sun is shining. It's going to be a beautiful day. Thank you for
It
having me here.
is. You are welcome. Thank you for consenting to come after all of the struggles. You can't keep a good woman down. That's what I'm
At all.
talking
Never that. Never that. Won't he do it? Find a way.
about. Won't he will. I'm
Yes.
so glad you're here, Lisa. We're going to jump right into the conversation. All of this is totally unscripted, and we just ask questions.
Right.
We want to know, inquiring minds want to know, how did you start your business? Like, why did you even start to train and engage corporations?
I was obviously in corporations myself. There were opportunities and lack of opportunities. There were times where I was peeking through the window, wondering what are they doing in there. There were times where I would actually participate in the training, and many times I would come back and be the resident train the trainer of the team without the kudos, ramifications, and so forth and so on. And I discovered this is something that I really enjoy, and people would resonate. Or they would say, I've been doing this for so many years, and just with you, it's opened my mind. It makes me feel like I can go to the next level. It empowers me to do beyond what I thought I was capable of. And the way that you are able to take this technical information or whatever it happens to be and bring it to life in layman's terms where I can understand it better to help me guide me. That's how I started.
Wow. And that's how many of us start our business when it comes to training.
Mhm.
I love that you said something really key there. You get technical information and break it down so that the layman can understand it. And
Mhm.
that's huge, because a lot of people who talk the talk don't recognize that they're so into it that they are not intuitive about those that don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
So, like myself, I was also in the training environment, not wanting to be actually in the training environment, but the geeks over here were speaking to the common people over here, the normal people, and they didn't understand.
Huge disconnect.
Really?
Wasn't resonating, wasn't making
Right.
any sense. The
Right.
geeks are frustrated because why don't you get it? This is commonplace for me. The
Right.
people who needed to have the information so that they can continue to do what they needed to do because they were the subject matter expert in whatever. And
They
this
knew.
new wizardry that's coming in doesn't make sense and doesn't
Right.
speak to whatever I'm accustomed to using. How do you bridge that gap together? And then more importantly, how do the two of them communicate with one
Right.
another in a way that is positive and proactive and assertive as opposed to aggressive?
And were you that liaison person?
I was the liaison every time. Go find Lisa. She'll help you do that. Many times somebody would pull me into a conference room and I would help take a technical wizard who had this 200-point PowerPoint presentation.
20 pound brains.
Exactly. And take
Right.
those 200 slides and dwindle them down to 10 or 15 and help to make sure that you're getting your point across, saying what you need to say, what's relevant, poignant, what have you, so that they can then communicate more effectively, grow to the next level. And I've helped so many of them grow to director levels and what have you because of those simple things that aren't necessarily commonplace for them.
Right.
Common sense is not common knowledge, okay?
No. No. But I love how you took the empowerment road for that, because many people find themselves in that role, but they decide to consider themselves a victim. I have to be the one that always has to explain. You took it the next level and said, okay, if I'm going to be that person, I'm going to be that person.
That's right. That's right.
And
I am that I am.
Business.
Yeah.
You have so
And then
many
I found
people-
that I enjoyed it, and it became kind of second nature for me. And it wasn't challenging for me to pick it up. I can sort of pull through the weeds, if you will. You've got a 200-page document and you need to have a presentation that's going to be, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, or an hour. I'm your person who can help you get that down to a science where you can convey that message, where it is communicating effectively, then allows you to ask more questions, which then allows you to build upon what you're doing, whether it's a phased approach, a one and done, a teaser, what have you. So it does make a tremendous difference. And you have to consider your audience, who you're speaking with.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Completely. I know my experience right now in the workplace is that I'm dealing with people who are right out of college, between 22 and 25. And I find that they don't want to ask questions because they don't want to let anyone know that they don't know, but they are not digging to find it out either. So there's just like this huge disconnect. I swear it's because of years of participation trophies, because I don't understand. It's constantly like, well, I didn't want to bother you. I'm like, well, if you want it, you have to go get it. So either you figure it out, the answer, or you got to go get the answer. You can't just sit here lost. And I think that's where we are with it. I'm from a age where I'm like, I'll ask anybody. I don't care who it is. Excuse me, I need help. You over there, can you come look at this? I don't have a problem asking for help if I can't see.
You know who they ask? They ask Google University.
Right.
Some do. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Shani's right. Some of them do, and some of them just sit there like a bump on a log, like scratching their heads, wondering what is going to happen next. And that's not how you get information.
No.
But we're of the mindset. No, I know my mother told me a long time ago. No question is a dumb question if you don't know the answer.
That's right. That's right.
So if you don't know the answer, you need to be asking somebody some questions. And some people don't. It's not even categorized by that they're coming out of high school. A lot of people just don't want you to know that they don't know.
Yeah. Well, there's a method to it, right? It also has to do with their personality style.
That is true.
Who they are,
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that. Okay. I'm glad you asked. So when you think about personality styles, one of my favorite trainings is DISC, right? And it talks about 4 different personality styles. A D stands for dominant. An I stands for an influencer, a S stands for steady, and a C is a person who's conscientious. A dominant person, they want what they want, they're snapping their fingers, they're visionaries, they can tell you what they need, you know exactly where you stand. They do not have time to hear of all the pitfalls and your Calvin and Hobbes
Stop
roots.
talking about me in front of my face.
You just read me.
I love you. But it's necessary. And you need all 4 personalities to make an organization run really, really well. Right. You need to have leadership. You need to have administration. You need to have finance. You need to have marketing. You need to have operations. You need to have technical wherewithal. Each one of those 4 kind of dominant personalities, not dominant, but inherent personalities are necessary. An influencer is somebody who can rally the troops, get you going. They're really excited. They are very eager. They're more creative in their approach. They can inspire people to get things done when they didn't even know why they needed to get it done. Yeah, Shani's pointing at herself too, which I think is awesome. And that's great. And you need to have that. However, when you have a person who's an S, which is a steady person, they're the ones who kind of seem shy. They don't speak up. It takes them a while. And when you're in a stressful, deadline-driven situation and you want that information right now, that scares the bejesus out of them. And instead of them responding to you, they withdraw. But if you know how to speak to them and you recognize that that's what their personality style, there is a way to put fire under their belt by giving them a timeline and say, hey, I understand you've got a lot of things and I know you want to weigh the pros and cons. I'm on deadline. I've got to get this to the client, to the boss by 2. That's why I need this from you by 10. All of a sudden they're scrambling and you get what you want. No hard done.
Why you want it and why
you want it. The backstory. This works both professionally and personally. When we know why something happened, it helps us to move forward and form an opinion, because otherwise we begin telling stories. And that story makes us feel some type of way. And when we feel some type of way, we act some type of way, whether that's for the good or for the bad, right? And as a result, you're either going to get something or you're not going to get something, because I have nothing to have as a frame of reference behind me moving forward, right?
That's why storytelling is so important. That's why the story is, that's why I teach storytelling in business, because the story is so important to get your employees, your cohorts, your peers to move in the same direction you're moving in. And they need to have that why. What does this, and remember why. That's the other part. They don't just need to know why. They need to remember why on a constant basis. That is so good.
And that's about communicating effectively. You've got to communicate. It's kind of like, you know, writing a story, writing a book, writing a thesis, any kind of paper that you have to do or what have you. You're going to tell the story. You're going to tell them what you're going to tell them. You're going to tell a story. You're going to tell them a few things, and then you're going to tell them again. That's what communicating is. Communicate, communicate, communicate. If leaders would say, we're getting ready to make some changes, and I know that this is kind of frightening. I know you spent a lot of time learning your craft over here, but this is going to make us quicker, faster, better. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue with Team A working on the old stuff. Team B is going to start, and then we're going to stop in 30 days or 90 days or something to check where we are, meet in the middle, see where we're going. By the time we get to the end of the year or the end of the quarter, then we're going to have this parallel approach, and the old way is going to drop by the wayside. And then people on Team A are then going to get moved into teams B, C, and D and learn a new thing.
We're talking about change management strategies.
Yes, in a nutshell.
That makes so much sense, because when you talk about like telling stories, that's me. If you don't tell me the backstory, my mind immediately says, that's dumb. I'm not going to do it.
There you go. I'm so glad that you said that. You're going to have
to figure out a way to make me.
So. And that's the real truth. That is the real truth. And that's what happens at work. You get a new boss. You don't know why you got the new boss. You just learned how to like the old boss. The old boss is gone. Nobody's told you anything. Then here comes this new boss, eager, excited, and happy, and says, I need this, 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 and this. Your response is, I hope you can figure it out, right?
That's or Lisa, they come in and they want to scrap all the stuff that you've learned for 20 years, and start something new that they don't even know is going to work.
Right.
Without even talking to the people who have been doing the dang job in the first place.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. That's the number one key. If you're a new leader, a new person coming into the midst, don't start barking orders. Don't start scrapping things. Find out who's on your team. Ask them questions. Get to know them. Figure out what their strengths are. Ask them what their goals are. Ask them what the challenges have been in the last 30 days, 90 days, last year.
Enlist them, in other words.
List them.
Enlist them.
List them. If there's anything that you can do for a quick win, figure out what you can do, because if you can demonstrate in a short period of time, after meeting with all of them and figuring out what those things are and say, you know, I talked to so-and-so and we can now do blah, blah, blah. Because if you show and demonstrate that you care about your crew, they're going to go out of their way, and the sky's the limit, in order to push your agenda through and even above and beyond. And you don't have to be there hovering over them, micromanaging their situation. Provide them with the tools that they need in order to execute properly. Right? Exactly. Fight the fight for them so they can do the job they were hired to do. They will make you look good, and the sky's the limit for what could happen.
I got a great story for that.
Without compensation. With no additional compensation, you can get them to buy in to the dream. And they miss the mark.
They miss
every
time. Every time.
So I'm working for this company. They'll remain nameless for the moment. And they hired me to be a technical trainer.
Okay.
Computers is my thing.
Okay.
I come in, I create a strategy for engaging the people who are going to be trained, asking them what they need training in. Most of it's Microsoft tools.
Okay.
Create the requirements, create the agenda, create the training plan, present it to the boss, to the people who need the training. Their group is called Light Rail.
Okay.
And they're all excited, ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
I report to somebody who has never had direct reports beneath them, and B, never had an entrepreneur beneath him. So I come in, my business wasn't working, so I decided to go back to work.
Gotcha.
And I'm working for this guy.
Right.
And I go in the meeting to discuss what plans we have for the week. And I said, I'm getting ready to go train light rail on XYZ Umpty Squat Day. And he said, who told you to do that?
Like, I'm sorry, what?
Right. Right.
The next statement he made me know it was time for me to go out forever.
Right. Right.
So now I am positively, absolutely unemployable by anyone. I'm unemployable. So he says to me, you didn't get my permission to do that. My statement to him was, what the hell you hire me for? And with that, I shut up and my brain went, whoop, we're done. We need to figure out what our next is. And in the meantime, we're done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
Mm-hmm.
You hired me to be a technical trainer. I did all the stuff. I didn't ask you for any of the stuff. I did all the stuff.
Right. Right. Right.
So 6 figures sitting in my chair like this.
I understand. Yes. Yes. Exactly.
And some people have said to me after telling that story, I'd have sat there and collected my money. I'm not that one.
Right. Right. Right.
I have to be productive.
Well, that's an entrepreneurial spirit, right? Because you have the ability to multitask, because you have the ability to take theory and tactic and blend them together and create something where it doesn't exist, fix something that might be challenging, streamline something that might be overflow, enhance something that might not be enough. When you have a right brain, you only have the capacity to think one way. So something outside of that scope is overwhelming, right? And it's really challenging, and I applaud you, and I think that's wonderful. But that's a lot of what's happening with quiet quitting.
Yes. Oh, let's talk about that.
Because you can't be bought.
You can't be bought. And everybody has a threshold in terms of the limit for them for what they're going to take, right?
Stick a fork in it. Done.
Stick a fork in it is right.
And that's what's happening. You're right, Lisa. There's so many people that they're not just quiet quitting, they're quitting.
Yeah.
Quiet quitting, they stay in place.
Especially women.
Mm-hmm. More women entrepreneurs have been born during the pandemic than any other time in history.
Yeah.
I mean, it was eye-opening.
Yeah.
You didn't even realize how much time that you were missing out on trying to climb this ladder until you had to kind of sit still for a minute. So,
climb this ladder with the broken rungs.
Exactly. The ladder that wasn't designed for you to climb in the first place. It doesn't go with your heels anyway.
I like that.
I like that too. It wasn't designed with your heels. That's it.
No, not at all. No, we can build a new one and it'll have sparkles on it. Don't worry. Because it's more inclusive and we like to have a variety of things. There's no woman who only has one pair of shoes. We have a way of thinking that's beyond scope because we've had to do that, whether we're mothers, aunties, sisters, what have you. We have to be creative and do what we can to stretch things, to make things seem. And most times people aren't even aware because we make it look real easy.
Make it look real easy. And it's not. We're mothers, entrepreneurs, wives. We are doing
caregivers,
chef stuff and making sure things are happening all over the place. It is amazing what women can do. Mm-hmm. And so I want to talk some now, Lisa, about being a woman in a high profile male dominated industry. You are in technology at all. You are in a high profile male dominated industry.
Right.
How did you traverse that and decide I'm done?
First of all, understanding, I was trying to figure out, Lord, why did you bring me here? You know my personality. I'm smiling, I'm bubbly, I'm all over the place. I wear jewelry, my hair is different colors depending on my mood or whatever. I'm real kind of different. And it was designed to build the strength of the business to get me going, but I didn't know that at the time. They have to trust you. By nature, most techies are skeptical people, right? They don't trust anything, which is why they prefer their silos, because
they do trust, but they verify. They trust.
That's right. Right. You have to be proven in order to get through. You're not proven immediately. Immediately, they're going to try to find all the holes. I even remember interviewing and everybody had a laptop and their heads were down. I'm like, what's going on here? I don't understand what's happening. So, but once that rapport was developed, once that trust was developed, once I had the training that made their brains think outside of their normal scope, the sky was the limit, and there wasn't anything too good for me or that they wouldn't do to go out of their way to support whatever I needed. So if there was a new leader coming in and I came in to be part of their town hall, they were all eyes, all ears. They might not have said anything in the town hall, but they caught me in the hallway, down the street, at lunch, took me to lunch or what have you. And then I was able to see exactly where the leader needed help and assistance. I was able to see where the employees had challenges. I was able to find out backstories that a leader doesn't have time for. They don't have time to sit down and do all of those things. Right. So I was in a great sweet spot space where I could see both sides of the table and speak both languages and then come to the middle. These are the main things that are happening. We need to have a win. Try this, try this, try this. Consider this, consider this, consider this.
I like that.
One of my sweet spots is humanizing leaders who seem like the boogeyman. Bring them down.
That's a great skill.
Bring them down. So, oh, this person actually eats food like the rest of us. You know, when you are amongst the ranks, you have a tendency to think we're here and the bosses or the leadership team is here. If you can get the leader to be on the same level where they will roll up their sleeves just like their people, then they're part of them. They're more inclined to want to jump on board and support your efforts.
Yeah, and that's so vital in any organization.
Right.
Where do we find you, Lisa, when we want to find you?
You can find me on the web at www.thebishopconcept.com, or you can find me on LinkedIn. My name is Lisa P. Bishop. My company is The Bishop Concept. I'm a leadership development consultant and executive coach.
That is so good. Shani, you got one question before break.
I want to know what's the magic in it all. Like, how do you humanize somebody who seems out of the touch? How do you humanize a boogeyman, essentially? Because when they've already created this culture and they're really not open to changing that view, after you've told the people, yeah, no, they do this, but they don't change here. How do you deal with that?
I usually do a couple of focus groups if I can. I find out who the unofficial mayor in the group is.
Come on.
This person is not necessarily has a title, but this is the person that everybody gravitates to. When they come from a staff meeting, when they come from a one-on-one, when they come from a town hall or whatever, everybody's nodding their head. And even in my trainings, I'll say, are you guys, really agreeing with what I'm saying here? Or are you just kind of giving me this polite proverbial nod in the head of whatever the XYZ, the name of that company happens to be? And they laugh. And it's like, no, we're paying attention. But there is a difference. In a town hall, we're all nodding our head because we got things to do. We're on deadline. We got to go. And I don't really understand what they're saying anyway. Or what does this have to do with me? There's not enough information that breaks down. But when they go back to their cubes, when they go back to their offices, when they go back to the water cooler, they're asking questions. They're talking. Exactly. But they gravitate to one or two people.
One person. That's right.
Lisa, what did you think they were talking about? And Lisa will say, blah, 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 blah. Lisa's word becomes more of the gospel, which then turns into gossip, believe it or not, right? Because it might not be based in fact, but that's what folks are believing because there's a level of trust that this person has the eyes and ears of what's happening, not only at their level, but up above, if that makes sense.
It does. I'm definitely the mayor.
Absolutely.
That's the makings of a
unofficial mayor, right?
Right. So if I say it's BS, it's BS. That's gospel.
If Shani doesn't agree with it, guess what? Nobody else is going to agree with it.
We ain't doing that. That ain't what we do.
Not going to happen. Yeah.
We're gonna talk more with Lisa Bishop and the Bishop concept and how leadership can change based on the principles she uses right after the break. Don't go away. We'll be right back. I am a child of the Most High God. He has gifted me in ways that I could not even imagine and didn't know.
There was a time when I didn't know who I was. I listened to other people tell me who I should be, what I should do. I listened to people telling me that I should be a boutique owner, that I should be a construction manager, that I should be a laborer. Have you ever felt like you should do something else, be something else, go somewhere else, be wherever you wanted to be, and you felt like you were in a box? Anybody in the room? And you couldn't get out. Anybody in the room? And you kept trying to go and you couldn't get out. Anybody in the room? But let me tell you, you need to rock the box. Rock the box. I am engaging, inspiring, and empowering. I would give you everything I know. Just by touching you, if I could, by osmosis, give you every single thing I've learned, I've gone through, I know I would. We know that's not possible, but as it is possible, I love to share information with people. Some of you out there, people have told you that you can't be, you can't have, you can't do. But I will tell you, like Kingston said, you can, you must, and you will. If it's to be, it's going to be me. You got to say it. If it's to be, it's going to be. If it's to be, it's going to be. If it's to be, it's going to be.
Barbara is because she believed what her mama said about her and not what other people told her.
Every day you wake up, when you're in a situation, it's your choice whether it's an advantage or the disadvantage.
She gained her confidence and her life, and now she is a testimony.
If I can help you elevate yourself, then I feel like I'm elevating my own self as well. What you know and I know together can change the world.
Is it possible to watch that and not dance?
Rock the box, baby. Rock the box. You gotta rock the box. Whatever people put you in a box, when they put you in a box, you gotta rock that box.
I agree. I love this enthusiasm.
I love you, Lisa. Yeah. We met some time ago and we have been kicking it ever since. You want to tell the people where we all met, but where I met you, Lisa?
I met you on the Black Business Olympics Expo, and I had the wonderful pleasure of being interviewed by you, and I was in awe, still in awe. I think that you're incredible. Your team is incredible. Everyone has embraced me. Shani has sent out love to me, and it's just been a wonderful unity fest. And here's the thing. People who are in training, people who are in motivation and empowerment are all about collaboration. And I'm about that. And, this whole team spirit is totally embodied in this way. And our word is our bond, and that's what we do. And I'm just grateful to have the opportunity to be able to be on this platform with you powerful women. And I think it's great that we are here today. And let's keep this circle moving, because
I love it. I love it. I love
and
it.
adding to it.
You said
I love
something
that.
really huge. Collaboration. 2020 is the year of collaboration. Why do I say that? We have been on lockdown for 2.5 years.
Yes.
Now we're able to spread our wings and come out. We can no longer be a one and done organization. We have to collaborate. Where I have a weakness, I'm looking for Lisa to fill in that space. Where I have a weakness, I'm looking for Shani to fill in that space. Because if I have all the people around me like me, then everybody's fired. Those
are facts.
I mean, you're a D. You got to look for I's, S's, and C's, period.
Speak on it, Miss Shani. Speak on it. It's so incredibly true. Because a C, which I didn't get to before, is a conscientious person. That's a person who dots the I's and crosses the T's, super skeptical, very methodical in their approach. Everything for them has to be logical and make sense. They're also the people who tell you to talk to the hand. Because if you don't know what they know, and if they're in a stressful situation, you're dismissed before you even have an opportunity to ask the question, because as far as they're concerned, you're wasting their time. But if you can approach them in a way that says, hey, Shani, I looked up such and such and such, or I spoke with X, Y, and Z trying to get this information, and it's my understanding that you're the expert on it, and I don't really know where to go. Can you help me? They will respond to that. You cannot come up to them and say, where is such and such, or how do I do whatever? They need backstory research before you come to them to ask for anything.
Well, you know what's interesting is, after studying the DISC assessment for a year, I learned so much, not even just business.
Yes.
About my husband, for example.
That's right.
Like, I'm high D, like off the chart D, like 99.997 D.
Oh, that's rare.
And he is S all day long.
Those are the best relationships.
He takes his time with, I'm like, funny, cute story, quick story.
Yeah.
We order from this place where we get fried fish.
Uh-huh.
My husband orders the same thing every single time. It's a fish sandwich, and he takes my fries off of the meal that I'm going to have. And I like shrimp and scallops, so he takes the fries. This is what he does all the time. I might switch mine up and order fish and shrimp, or fish and scallops, or scallops and shrimp. I'll switch it up, but not him. Yeah. Same thing every time. So I say, honey, we're going to get some fish from Anna's. Okay, let me go get the menu. So why you need the menu? Oh, my mama might want something. Mama wants a fish sandwich. She already told me. Okay, well, I'm gonna just get the menu. All right, gets the menu. He said, what are you gonna order? I said, I'm gonna order shrimp and scallops. He looks at the menu, wait for it, and says, I don't know what I'm gonna have. I go, what are you gonna have? I think I'm a fish sandwich. I said, honey, you always get the fish sandwich. Why did you have to take so long? Because I'm like, make the decision. Stop playing. Make the decision. And he's got to think about it, even though he knows what he's going to get. I don't understand. I had to notice that in the disc and have patience, because I'm a decision maker, risk taker. When I say it comes in here and it literally, let's go.
Yes.
And he's like, wait a minute. Gotta look at the menu. Gotta see what we're gonna get.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what you're gonna get.
That's a great story, and it's so incredibly true, because by him being an S, and believe it or not, D's and S's make for great relationships personally and professionally, because in a team setting, when it comes down to a tiebreaker, the S is always going to go to the D. They have a great appreciation because you see the big picture and you're able to make decisions. They
Make
are
a decision.
contemplating the pros and the cons and the best way, and they want to do the research. They don't want to ruffle any feathers, and they want to include everybody in the process.
Girl.
So they're really thinking about it. Yeah. But at the same time, he calms your spirit when you need to. So you are allowed to flutter to a point until he says, Barbara. And then you kind of pause. And then you smile. Sometimes. And then, oh, okay, I can take a rest. It doesn't take long, but it's a real thing. Yeah. Totally understand. And it's the same way at work. Yeah. It's a real thing. Yeah. They have a great appreciation for people who can make decisions, make them quickly, and they know where they stand. They don't have to guess, because without having a D in their midst, they're going to think about what the I says. They're going to think about what the C says. And then without giving them a deadline, they're going to wait till it feels right before they do something.
They are definitely feelers.
Yes.
With that in mind, what are your thoughts, Lisa, on people coming into companies and allowing them to put their teams together as opposed to just at random? Different companies may actually choose people for the role, but for me, per se, ours is literally just whatever your hire date is. This is the group you're going to get. How do you feel about being able to form a solid team that has your I's, S's, and C's in it, and letting your mayor, myself, make the decisions?
I'm a huge proponent of being able to mix up the group, because you get formed opinions. They have a better respect for one another. Somebody admires what somebody does. Somebody admires what the other person does. You each kind of have your role, and you're not necessarily competing with each other. Right. I think Barbara said earlier, if she had a whole bunch of D's on her team, everybody would be fired. And it's true. Not too many things would get done. So you being the unofficial mayor, you kind of make some of the decisions, but then you get excited in your conversation, whereas Barbara's going to get straight to the point. When you create your project, you want to hurry up and get it done, and you have all these other ideas, and you're thinking about plan B of it, and Barbara wants plan C, honestly, but you're still thinking about all the other pieces you want to do. When you want to have it right and tight, then you want to give it to a C, because they dot the I's and cross the T's. They also look for mistakes. These are the people who like to read the newspaper and look for a mistake in a word, right? But they're good in terms of being able to tighten up the bow. So when you're a one-person shop entrepreneur, you have to rely on all of the other resources. You don't have a department team you can go to say, did I get all these elements right in this proposal? Is everything there? You're looking at it and looking at it and re-looking at it. You might miss something because you're not necessarily bogged down into the details more so than you are making sure you have all the components and the elements.
The big picture.
Mm-hmm. So I like that.
There are cross-pollination of those letters, those personality types. And so
that's true.
Although, Shani may be a C, she also is an S, and she is very good at the details. She's very good at making sure that things are tightened. She's very good at, all of those kinds of things. And then she has that D personality when she wants to.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
And I'm definitely a hybrid, because I'm I too.
Yes, we all have them.
We are.
What my trainings focus on when I'm doing them are based on stressful, deadline-driven situations. Ooh. When we're stressed, we kind of go into a bucket, or we might go into a V, but we definitely go into a bucket. When you need to get it done and you are stressed and something has to happen, you zing into a box.
Yeah.
When everything is hunky-dory and there's no challenges that are going on and you're going by the day-to-day routine, yes, You can be all 4, you could be 2, you could be 3 or whatever. But in a stressful deadline driven situation, you definitely zing over into a particular element. There's pressure, there's opportunity, there's timelines, there's what needs to be done, what's there, what's not there. Some people are holding their heads in. Some people are like, we can do this. Other people are saying, come on, you guys. Another person's like, well, there's risk aversion here, and there's this, there's the resistance. So there's all the things that you do when you're stressed, both professionally and personally.
So how do you get clients? How do people come to you and you get them for working with them?
Before the pandemic, I got them through word of mouth. Somebody would attend my training and say, oh, my husband's company needs that, and so forth and so on. But
pause. They would attend your training.
They would attend my training.
How was your training conducted, or how did you get to be training somewhere?
Usually through an agency or hired through a contract or something of that sort. And they were awesome and incredible and engaging. And one company would hear, one department would say, oh my God, you need to go to this training. It was incredible. It was insightful. Some of them turn into onboardings for new hires for a healthcare agency, a lot of different government type of entities, things. And it's really interesting because technical right brain people usually or typically back in the day would not consider soft skill training as anything other than touchy feely.
Yeah.
But it's necessary. It's kind of like the golden rule of when we grew up at home and how you interact with one another. Hello, please, thank you, or kind of things that are gone by the wayside by many people, but they do impact people. And especially if you have these different types of personalities. If I'm coming into work every day and I'm giving you, 10 hours of my life and you don't even acknowledge my presence, it makes it very challenging for me to be able to produce for you or perform at my optimal level. However, if you say, hello, good morning, Lisa, how are you? How's your dad? Did you go to the gym today? How was your Paris trip? Whatever. I'm going to be more inclined to, entertain with you. But by the flip side of that, if you have a boss who's the opposite of that and is not a chitter chatter person, do your work first. If that's what they require, then have the conversation. What I's tend to do, and I'm an I, by the way. So what we have a tendency to do is want to have the relationship first, because through hard knocks, we've learned that the relationships are the key to everything, because when you are in those stressful deadline driven situations, you can pick up the phone and go across the aisle and get something done and accomplished that somebody, even though they know all the pieces that are done, but if they have the personality of a flea, which there is no personality, they're not going to get too much of anything. Right?
Exactly. How many companies really took the time to find out how the people were when they had to come back to the hybrid?
They didn't. They didn't.
You don't know what happened, who I lost, what happened to me, what kind of trauma. And it was just like, hey, we're all going to be back together again. Like, no, I don't actually, I like it without you. I don't want to come back.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I'm involved in a training right now with a similar kind of thing. And it's like everybody is required to start coming back to work, I believe June 1st or something like that. And people are kicking and screaming. Or there's one particular department who never got to take any of the time off during the pandemic. So they're a bit resentful and they have a lot to do for the organization as a whole when all these other folks have hybrid opportunities. So they're sort of slowly rolling that in a time frame. And you're absolutely right, Shani. It has to be considered. It has to be discussed. It is absolutely necessary, and it makes a difference. And we have to talk about diversity and bias and microaggressions and those sorts of things that come into play. They're real and they're interesting, and people get triggered because we went through a catastrophic time.
Trauma.
History that we really didn't get a chance to heal from. No. We're still kind of just now sea legs, right?
We're almost pretending like it didn't even happen.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what
the elephant in the room that nobody did forget.
Right. Yeah. And so Sally used to be highly engaged and have a lot of chitter chatter, and now not so much. She's doing what she needs to do because everything has changed. We've learned how to do a little bit more with less and figure it out. But now you want me to come back in, and I just moved across town so that I could have less rent, right? But now you're further away, and I didn't have to worry about that because I wasn't coming in.
Right.
So now my whole check is going to go to daycare. And then if I don't get to daycare on time, it costs me $10 every 5 minutes that I'm late from there. And you want me to get this deadline done and stay another half an hour. And if I don't stay another half an hour, I'm not a team player.
Right.
A lot of different dynamics that are happening and have to be considered. So what I say to that is have lots of team building, be flexible as a leader in terms of what you do, have a rotating schedule for people to have an opportunity to be able to do that. And people will slowly be able to embrace that more because there's give on both sides of the aisle, right? And the consideration that has to be there. And if somebody is further away because of the situation of where they needed to be, commuter bucks, whatever those things are that are going to lighten the load for that person to be able to produce. On the flip side of that, people are saying, I was producing just as much, if not more, while I was at home. I don't see the need to come in there. And then if somebody coughs, like I'm coughing right now, if I was in an office setting in a cube, people would be spraying everything.
You got that right.
Right?
You got that right? Right. You know,
I would be spraying too.
It's traumatizing. Just that, what you said about coughing, it's traumatized all of us everywhere. So
at the grocery store,
everywhere. So
yeah, it's like sheer utter disgust. It's not even before it'd be like, are you okay? Are you choking?
Yes, right. Let me pat you on the back a little bit or something. No.
That's a trauma. People don't even recognize that they've been traumatized. It is a trauma response when you hear somebody cough or sneeze and you think they have COVID.
Yes. That is, yes.
Reminds me of the commercial with the guy who coughed. He went into his own apartment, put his hand over his mouth in the bathroom so nobody would hear him on the outside. And they kicked his door in and beat his behind because he coughed in his own house. This is trauma. We are traumatized by people coughing, and it's ridiculous, but it's true.
It's very, very true.
And when you go to the workplace, it's even more amplified because you're around people for 8 flipping hours. Mm-hmm. And you could at any time, for example, swallow wrong.
That's right.
Cause you to cough.
Right. A whole coughing fit if you swallow wrong, like you sound like you're dying.
So how do we get people to have emotional intelligence about this coming back to the office? I mean, there's got to be training. There's got to be focus groups. There's got to be conversations. The leadership has got to recognize that this is not normal, and there is no normal anymore. This is
there is no normal anymore. Go away with the break at 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock. You leave at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. You need more breaks because you have to get up and move. The air is different. You don't know how it's circulating or not circulating. Right. Everybody's got their sanitizer, this, that, or the other. So if you're allergic to that kind of sanitizer, that's going to make you cough. That's going to make your eyes wheeze. Right. Don't know what's happening in the air. Don't know if your baby was sick before you came in, or your husband or your wife or whatever. So there's lots of different things. Create breaks, create outside opportunities to get together, have those focus groups, do onboarding, and create trainings on a quarterly basis, as far as I'm concerned, that will help to implement and emphasize the importance and relevance of emotional intelligence. It's about, I know who I am, that's being self-aware. I know who I am, right? Even if I make a mistake, I know who I am, but I'm able to course correct it in real time. And what do I do when I get off base, when I feel emotionally hijacked, if you will? Somebody comes barreling into your cube, you're on task, you've got your stuff, your to-do list is together, there shouldn't be any challenges. And then here comes this boss, and then their boss's boss barreling into your office demanding whatever. It
That
throws
doesn't,
you
I
off.
mean,
That's
I gotta
emotional
pause you right.
hijack.
I gotta pause you right there. Emotional hijacking. I love that because that doesn't just pertain to your office. That
That's
pertains
right.
to your life.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm minding
Yes.
my own business. I got 3
Yes.
sons. One comes in with this issue. One comes in with this issue. I'm emotionally hijacked.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. And we all face it. It's what do I do when I get emotionally hijacked? And for
That's what I
me,
need to
I don't
know.
have it in front of me now, but I usually have my little essential oil, which is lavender, and I unscrew the top and I inhale it. I inhale it because I love the scent. So it energizes me and calms me down at the same time. So
That's what
I
lavender
typically
does.
have it next to me on my laptop. I have it with me when I'm training, and people will even come in and say, Lisa, what are you smelling? And I'll put it and I'll go, oh, that's so nice. It just keeps me balanced in a way. That's one of the things that I do to self-manage, whether I'm thrown off base, the computer system didn't work the way that was supposed to, the technology is not supposed to do what is happening. Can I still function? Can I still show up? Can I still smile? Can I still produce? Do you have results? Absolutely, you
Can
do.
she still knock it out the park? Absolutely.
We're in this together. And
Right.
that's what it's all about. And that's what I'm talking about, humanizing. People don't mind if you have a faux pas. In fact, they seem to embrace it more. If you look at media right now, it seems like the underdog is the one who seems to be outshining the perfect Patties and the perfect Peters in the world. They
'Cause we
really
know it's a
seem to
lie.
have something, they
It is a
resonate,
lie.
we gravitate to them because they're human. There's something that's flawed in
It's
a way.
lies.
Be yourself, say oops, and
Authentic.
keep it moving. Not
you.
oops and you fall apart and that's the end and you can no longer keep moving forward. Just keep going. And that takes practice. It doesn't happen overnight, but it's a real thing. Some people turn on their music, just like we hear in the commercial break, and all of that keeps you moving and going. Go outside and take a walk,
Take a
right?
break.
Put your headphones on. Anything that's going to change. But I believe there has to be more breaks. That's the beauty to me of what happened after the pandemic when we came on Zoom, that my 8-hour trainings, instead of it only having 3 breaks, I probably had 6 or 8. And everybody was appreciative. They had a chance to do a water break. They had a chance to check on the baby and put the bottle in the mouth. They had a chance to kiss the hubby going out the door. They had a chance to do their 15-minute workout or whatever. And everybody came back rejuvenated. Nothing says you have to be planted in a seat in order to perform.
That is so
Exactly.
good.
They need to have wine in the break room. Oh wait, never mind. Wrong thing.
That's a whole nother class, Shani. That's a whole nother class.
We talked about what Mark is saying, stepping outside and getting some fresh air away from the computer and not being paralyzed by fear. Let me tell you, we are at the top of the hour. I cannot believe the hour is gone already. We have had a marvelous conversation with the beautiful Lisa Bishop of the Bishop Concept. How do we get in touch with you, Lisa? Once again,
Thank you so much. www.thebishopconcept.com, or you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, Lisa P. Bishop, Leadership Development Consultant and Executive Coach.
And that is our show for today. I want to just give a couple of quick announcements before we leave. We have an empowerment conference coming up. Empowerment conference for ladies, executive women everywhere. Save the date, October 13, 14, and 15. We are going to be in the beautiful city of Ocean City, Maryland, celebrating each other, not just celebrating each other, but learning. We have some tools, techniques, and tips to help executive women level up and get to the next level. Also, we have coming up the book. The book is launching August the 5th. The Empowering You series continues with Let Go of the Past and Step into Your Greatness. So be on the lookout for that. It'll be in Amazon very, very soon. Shani, what else we got?
I mean, you cover what I needed to cover, but look forward to reaching out to Lisa P. Bishop on LinkedIn. Connect with me. You're interested in being a guest on the show? Let me know. We love to highlight people who are doing big things in their community and in their circle. It's support. at barbarahsmith.com. Reach out to me. I swear I'll hit you back. Thank you.
She will that. Coming up next is the Wall Street Hackers. Don't go anywhere for that. We are out of here. You know what time it is. It's time for you to step into your greatness. Lisa, hang out with us for a little bit. It's time for you to step into your greatness because the world is waiting for you. We'll see you next week.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Engage, inspire, empower. That's what I help you do as a celebrity, speaker, trainer, and coach. Hi, I'm Barbara H. Smith, known as the Masterful Presenter. I am the one that can help you dig deep inside your passions and deep inside your life to get you to the place you always dreamed.
I had the pleasure of hearing Miss Barbara Holmes Smith speak today, and just from her speaking to me today, I have realized that I need to have personalize my alter ego and be able to put myself out there a lot more.
I help through speaking techniques, teaching you how to use your words and your body language to inspire people to come up higher.
Today's presentation with Ms. Barbara was just outstanding. She has really helped me with her personality, with her being so genuine and passionate about what she believes in and helping to coach, train. Her sense of humor, her energy is just incredible.
How do I do that? By coaching and speaking and training. I help you with whatever it is that you want to do next. What is your next? Are you ready to take your life, your career to the next level? I can get you there. Contact me at www.barbarahsmith.com.